Your phone buzzes for the 100th time today. Another urgent email. Another crisis demanding immediate attention. Another wave of anxiety washing over you. The modern world pulls you in 1,000 different directions, each notification promising something crucial, each headline screaming for your attention. Your mind races, your shoulders tense, and somewhere deep inside, you feel that familiar ache, the exhaustion of trying to keep up with a world that never stops spinning. What if the answer to our contemporary struggles isn't found in the latest self-help trend or productivity hack, but in the timeless wisdom of ancient philosophers who understood human nature so deeply that their insights feel as if they were written yesterday? This is where our journey to Stoicism begins. Not in the marble halls of ancient Rome, but right here in your daily life. In those moments when you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or lost in the complexity of modern existence. The Stoics weren't just philosophers theorizing about life. They were practical psychologists who developed a powerful system for maintaining inner peace and clarity in a chaotic world. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote his private thoughts while leading an empire facing plagues, wars, and constant upheaval. Epictetus taught life-changing wisdom despite having been a slave. Seneca advised on finding tranquility while navigating the treacherous politics of imperial Rome. These weren't ivory tower philosophers. They were people dealing with real-world challenges that would feel surprisingly familiar to us today. Their message? True power lies not in controlling the uncontrollable world around us, but in mastering our internal response to it. In an age where we're constantly bombarded with messages about what we should buy, who we should be, and how we should feel, this ancient wisdom offers something revolutionary, a path to authentic freedom through understanding what truly matters and what we can actually control. As we explore how to apply Stoic principles to modern life, you'll discover that these ancient teachings aren't just philosophical concepts. They're practical tools for transformation. Tools that can help you navigate social media anxiety, workplace stress, relationship challenges, and the constant pressure to measure up to impossible standards. Tools that have helped countless others find strength, clarity, and purpose in their lives. The wisdom we're about to explore has guided everyone from military leaders to CEOs, from artists to athletes, through their darkest moments and greatest challenges. And today, it's going to show you how to transform your own life, one principle at a time. The timeless relevance of Stoicism. The streets of ancient Rome might look nothing like our modern cities, but the human heart hasn't changed. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about feeling overwhelmed by his responsibilities, he could have been describing your Monday morning. When Seneca spoke about people wasting their lives chasing status and wealth, he might as well have been scrolling through social media feeds. The Stoics understood something fundamental about human nature. Our struggles, fears, and desires remain remarkably consistent across millennia. Think about the last time you lay awake at night, your mind racing with worries about tomorrow. Now listen to these words from Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In that simple statement lies a revolutionary truth that's more relevant today than ever before. In an age where we're told that external factors, our job title, our follower count, our bank balance, define our worth, Stoicism reminds us that true power lies within. But here's what makes this ancient philosophy so perfectly suited for our modern challenges. The Stoics weren't asking us to retreat from life or deny our humanity. Instead, they provided a framework for engaging with life's complexities while maintaining our inner peace. They understood that we live in a world we can't fully control, surrounded by circumstances we didn't choose, yet we possess the remarkable ability to choose our response to every situation. Take social media, for instance. Every day, we face a barrage of carefully curated images showing us lives we're supposed to envy, achievements we're supposed to match, and standards we're supposed to meet. The anxiety this creates isn't so different from what Seneca described when he wrote about people suffering more in imagination than in reality. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes not from controlling these external pressures, but from mastering our perception of them. Consider how this applies to your daily life. When your project at work faces unexpected challenges, remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What if every obstacle became an opportunity? What if every setback contained the seeds of growth? This isn't positive thinking, it's strategic resilience, a practical approach to life's challenges that has proven its worth across centuries. The Stoics developed their philosophy during times of plague, war, exile, and political upheaval. They understood crisis and uncertainty intimately. Yet they discovered that these very challenges could become the forge in which we hammer out our strongest selves. In our own era of rapid change, global uncertainty, and technological revolution, their insights offer us a steady anchor, a way to remain centered when everything around us seems to be spinning out of control. As we step deeper into this exploration of Stoic wisdom, you'll discover that these ancient teachings aren't just philosophical concepts to ponder. They're practical tools for building a more resilient, purposeful, and authentically successful life. They offer a path to something we all desperately seek in this chaotic modern world: the ability to maintain inner peace and clarity, regardless of external circumstances. The modern mind under siege. Your mind operates at the speed of light, processing more information in a day than your ancestors dealt with in a month. News alerts flash across your screen, each one competing to be the crisis that finally breaks your concentration. Work messages pile up while you sleep. Social media feeds endlessly refresh, showing you 1,000 lives you could be living, 1,000 paths not taken. This is the modern battlefield of the mind, where attention is the most precious currency, and peace of mind feels like a luxury we can no longer afford. The ancient Stoics never saw a smartphone, but they understood something profound about the human condition that perfectly explains our modern struggle. People are not disturbed by things, Epictetus taught, but by their judgment about things. In our hyper-connected world, this insight cuts straight to the heart of our daily experience. Every notification, every breaking news alert, every social media update carries with it not just information, but an implicit demand for our emotional investment. Picture this. You're about to start an important task when your phone lights up with a controversial post from a colleague. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense. In an instant, your mind spins out possible responses, imagines potential consequences, creates entire scenarios of conflict and resolution. But here's the crucial question the Stoics would have us ask. Did anything actually happen to you in that moment? Or did you simply encounter information, neutral, objective information, and create an entire emotional reality around it? This is where Stoic wisdom becomes not just helpful, but essential for modern survival. When Seneca wrote about the importance of choosing our reactions, he couldn't have imagined the barrage of stimuli we face daily. Yet his advice becomes more powerful in our context. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. How much of your daily stress comes from actual events, and how much from the stories you tell yourself about those events? The digital age has created what the Stoics would recognize as a perfect storm of false impressions. Social media presents carefully curated versions of reality that trigger our deepest insecurities. News algorithms feed us an endless stream of crises designed to hijack our attention. Even our professional lives have become boundaryless, with work following us home through our devices, demanding constant availability. But within this chaos lies an unprecedented opportunity for practicing Stoic principles. Every notification becomes a chance to practice what Marcus Aurelius called the art of acquiescence. Not passive acceptance, but active engagement with reality on our own terms. Every social media trigger becomes an opportunity to examine our judgments and choose our responses mindfully. Consider how the Stoic practice of morning meditation might transform your relationship with technology. Instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, allowing the world's chaos to flood into your consciousness, you might create space to set your intentions, to remind yourself of what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his morning reflections, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." Replace these ancient annoyances with modern ones. Endless emails, social media drama, digital distractions, and the wisdom remains perfectly applicable. The Stoics understood that the mind needs training just as much as the body. In our modern context, this training becomes not just philosophical but practical survival skill. Each time you consciously choose not to react to a provocative post, each time you maintain your calm in the face of digital drama, you're building what the Stoics would call your inner citadel, a fortress of mental clarity and emotional stability that no external chaos can breach. This isn't about digital detox or unplugging completely. The Stoics were never about withdrawal from society. Instead, it's about developing a new relationship with our hyper-connected world, one where we remain engaged but unencumbered, informed but not overwhelmed, connected but not consumed. It's about recognizing, as Epictetus did, that true freedom comes not from controlling our environment, but from mastering our response to it. Practical applications. Let's step into your life. Not as it could be, not as it should be, but as it is right now. That project deadline looming over your head, that relationship tension keeping you up at night, that nagging sense that life is rushing by while you're caught in the daily grind. These aren't just modern problems. They're the perfect training ground for Stoic transformation. Remember that argument you had last week, the one that kept replaying in your mind? The words you wish you'd said differently, the reactions you wish you could take back. This is where Stoic practice begins, not in perfect circumstances, but in the messy reality of human experience. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. But how do we actually live this wisdom? Start with the morning ritual that transformed Marcus Aurelius from a privileged emperor into a philosopher king. Each dawn, before the world's demands crash in, take 5 minutes to ask yourself 3 questions. What might challenge me today? What strengths do I bring to these challenges? What truth must I keep close to my heart? This isn't just philosophical pondering, it's mental preparation for life's inevitable battles. Now let's talk about that meeting that always raises your blood pressure. The one with that colleague who seems designed by the universe to test your patience. The Stoics would see this not as an unfortunate circumstance, but as a gift, a perfect opportunity to practice what Seneca called the art of living. Before you enter that meeting, remind yourself, this person's actions are not in my control, my response is. Watch how this simple shift in perspective transforms the entire dynamic. But Stoicism isn't just about managing difficult moments. It's about transforming your entire relationship with life. Take your career ambitions. The modern world tells you to focus on the end goal, the promotion, the recognition, the achievements. The Stoic approach is radically different. Focus instead on what Marcus Aurelius called the work of a human being. Do what lies before you with full attention, with excellence, with integrity, regardless of the outcome. Here's a practical exercise that can revolutionize your day. The evening review. As the day winds down, take a moment to reflect. What went well? Where did you live up to your principles? Where did you fall short? But here's the crucial part. Do this not with harsh judgment, but with the gentle curiosity of a scientist studying an interesting phenomenon. You're not beating yourself up, you're gathering data for tomorrow's improvements. Think about how this applies to your relationships. In an age of disposable connections and surface-level interactions, Stoicism offers a deeper path. When someone hurts you, instead of reacting immediately, pause and ask yourself what Epictetus would ask. Is this within my control? Often you'll find that what really hurts isn't the other person's action, but your judgment about their action. This insight alone can transform your entire social world. Let's talk about failure. That experience we all dread but can never avoid. The next time you face a setback, whether it's a rejected proposal or a personal disappointment, try this Stoic reframe. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Suddenly, that rejection isn't just an ending. It's information, feedback, an opportunity for growth. The beauty of Stoic practice lies in its simplicity. You don't need special equipment, perfect circumstances, or years of philosophical study. You need only what you already have: your mind, your choices, and your commitment to growth. Every challenge becomes a chance to practice. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to embody the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Picture yourself 6 months from now, having practiced these principles daily. The same challenges might still be there. Deadlines, difficult people, unexpected setbacks. But you've changed. You've built what the Stoics called an inner citadel, a fortress of mental clarity and emotional resilience that no external circumstance can breach. Personal transformation through Stoic wisdom. Change doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It whispers in the quiet moments when you choose differently than you did before. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. 6 months ago, this would have been a perfect storm of stress and anger. But today, something's different. As your hands rest on the steering wheel, you remember Epictetus's words. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. You feel the tension in your shoulders, and you let it go. This isn't resignation. This is power. Real transformative power. This is what happens when Stoic wisdom seeps into your bones. It's not about becoming an unfeeling statue or suppressing your humanity. It's about awakening to a deeper truth about what it means to be alive, to be human, to be free. The transformation begins in these small moments, these tiny choices that ripple out into every aspect of your life. Take Sarah, a corporate executive I recently spoke with. She used to measure her worth by her quarterly results, living in constant fear of failure. Then she encountered Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. Do what nature demands. Get a move on, if you have it in you, and don't worry whether anyone will give you credit for it. She started focusing on the quality of her actions rather than the outcomes. The irony? Her results improved, but more importantly, she found something precious. Peace amid performance. Or consider James, a social media influencer who felt trapped in an endless cycle of seeking validation. His transformation began when he internalized Seneca's insight. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He started asking himself a simple question before each post. Am I sharing this to contribute value, or am I seeking approval? This small shift in perspective cascaded into a complete reinvention of his relationship with social media and himself. But perhaps the most profound transformations happen in our closest relationships. Think about the last argument you had with someone you love. The words that cut deep, the reactions that escalated tension, the regret that followed. Now imagine bringing Stoic wisdom into that moment. As Epictetus taught, when someone provokes you, remember that it is your own opinion provoking you. This isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about reclaiming your power to choose your response. The beauty of Stoic transformation lies in its ripple effects. When you change how you respond to life's challenges, you change the energy you bring into every room, every relationship, every situation. People start responding differently to you, not because you're trying to change them, but because you've changed the dynamic by changing yourself. Consider the workplace. When you stop taking criticism personally and start seeing it as information, as the Stoics would advise, something remarkable happens. Your defensive walls come down. Your ability to learn expands. Your colleagues begin to trust you more because they sense your unshakable center. This isn't theory. This is practical, observable transformation. But here's what they don't tell you about transformation. It's not always comfortable. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns. Moments when your Stoic resolve feels more like a distant memory than a present reality. The Stoics understood this too. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Not to cultivate cynicism, but to prepare himself for reality while maintaining his commitment to virtue. The real transformation happens not in avoiding these challenges, but in meeting them differently. Each difficult person becomes your teacher. Each setback becomes your training ground. Each moment of friction becomes an opportunity to practice what the Stoics called the art of living. Future-proofing your mind. The future rushes toward us at breakneck speed. Artificial intelligence reshapes our world daily. Climate change transforms our planet. Social media platforms rewrite the rules of human connection. In this accelerating chaos, where can we find solid ground? The answer lies in wisdom that has weathered 2,000 years of human transformation. Think about it. When Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations, he faced a world ravaged by plague, threatened by barbarian invasions, and destabilized by political upheaval. Yet his words ring with a clarity that cuts through centuries. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This isn't just ancient wisdom. It's a blueprint for future survival. The challenges of tomorrow will test us in ways we can't imagine. But here's what we know. They will trigger the same human responses that the Stoics understood so well. Fear of the unknown, anxiety about change, the desperate need for control in an uncontrollable world. This is where Stoic preparation becomes not just helpful, but essential. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. The technology you use today might be obsolete. Your job description might be unrecognizable. The social landscape might have shifted dramatically. But if you've built your inner citadel using Stoic principles, none of these external changes can shake your core stability. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. This isn't just philosophy, it's future-proofing for your mind. Consider how this plays out in real time. When your industry faces disruption, others panic. But you remember Seneca's wisdom about fortitude in the face of change. When social media algorithms evolve again, trying to hook deeper into your attention, you stand firm in your Stoic practice of mindful engagement. When new global challenges emerge, you face them with the calm clarity that comes from knowing what's truly within your control. The Stoics taught us something profound about preparing for the future. The key lies not in predicting what will happen, but in building an internal system that can handle anything that happens. They called this the cultivation of virtue, the development of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. These aren't just noble ideas, They're practical tools for navigating an uncertain future. Think of it like this. Every challenge you face today is training for tomorrow's tests. When you practice maintaining equanimity in today's traffic jam, you're building the mental muscles you'll need to handle tomorrow's larger disruptions. When you choose not to react to today's social media provocation, you're developing the discernment you'll need to navigate future technological challenges. The future will demand new skills from us: adaptability, emotional intelligence, ethical reasoning in unprecedented situations. But look closely at these demands and you'll see they're exactly what Stoic practice develops. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it," he was describing not just his time, but all time, including the rapidly evolving future we're racing toward. As we stand on the brink of tomorrow's challenges, the Stoic path offers something remarkable. Not certainty, but centeredness. Not control over events, but mastery of our response to them. This is what it means to future-proof your mind. Not to become immune to change or hardship, but to develop the internal resources to meet whatever comes with grace, courage, and wisdom. Remember, the Stoics weren't trying to predict the future. They were building humans capable of handling any future. Through their teachings, we learn to face uncertainty not with anxiety, but with curious engagement. We develop the ability to say, as Marcus Aurelius did, "This too shall pass," not as a resignation, but as a recognition of our own enduring strength. Your journey into Stoic wisdom doesn't end here. In many ways, it's just beginning. Every day brings new opportunities to practice, to grow, to build that unshakable core of resilience that will serve you not just today, but in all the tomorrows to come. The future may be uncertain, but with these timeless principles as your guide, you can face it not just with confidence, but with genuine excitement for the growth it will bring. Take a breath. Feel the weight of this moment. Right now, as these words reach you, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to the reactive life you've known, buffeted by circumstances, shaken by opinions, drained by the constant chaos of modern existence. The other path, it leads to something extraordinary, a life guided by timeless wisdom, anchored in unshakable principles, marked by a calm strength that others will notice and admire. The choice is yours, but know this: the Stoics faced a world as chaotic as ours. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations because life was easy. He wrote them because it was hard. Epictetus didn't teach about freedom because he had an unchallenged life. He taught because he understood what true freedom meant, even as a former slave. Seneca didn't explore tranquility because he lived in peaceful times. He explored it because he knew how precious inner peace becomes when the world is in turmoil. Their wisdom has outlived empires. It has survived plagues, wars, and revolutions. It has guided humans through personal crises and global catastrophes. And now, in this moment, it offers you something precious, a way forward. Not a magic solution that makes problems disappear, but something far more valuable: the tools to meet any challenge with dignity, courage, and wisdom. Start small. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take 1 minute before reaching for your phone. Remember what's truly within your control. When that difficult email arrives, pause, breathe. Choose your response rather than reacting. When plans fall apart, ask yourself what opportunity might be hidden in this obstacle. These aren't just philosophical exercises. They're the building blocks of a transformed life. You might be thinking, this all sounds good, but can I really live this way? The answer lies in the countless individuals throughout history who have walked this path before you. From imprisoned revolutionaries finding freedom in their minds, to modern CEOs maintaining calm in corporate storms, from artists finding creative courage to parents building emotional resilience, the Stoic path has proven its worth across every conceivable circumstance. The world needs this wisdom now more than ever. It needs people who can maintain perspective in a crisis, people who can disagree without becoming disagreeable, people who can pursue success without losing their souls, people who understand, as Marcus Aurelius did, that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This is your invitation, not to a life free from challenges, but to a life where challenges make you stronger. Not to a life without emotions, but to a life where emotions enrich rather than control you. Not to a life of passive acceptance, but to a life of active engagement with what truly matters. Remember, every emperor dies, every empire falls, every crisis passes. What endures is the human capacity for wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These virtues are your birthright. They're waiting within you, ready to be awakened through practice and dedication. The time to begin is now. Not when life gets easier, not when you feel more ready, not when circumstances improve. Now. Because now is all we ever truly have. And in this now, you can take the first step toward a life governed not by external chaos, but by internal wisdom. The choice, as always, is yours. But know this: 2,000 years of human experience stand behind these principles. Countless lives have been transformed by these teachings, and now it's your turn to discover what the Stoics knew, that the path to an extraordinary life begins with the decision to master your inner world. What will you choose? This is not the end of your journey with Stoic wisdom. It's just the beginning. Every day brings new opportunities to practice, to grow, to build that unshakable core of resilience that will serve you in all circumstances. The ancient Stoics extend their hand to you across the centuries. Will you take it? Remember, you are not just learning about Stoicism. You are becoming part of a timeless tradition of human excellence. The world awaits your contribution. The time is now. The choice is yours.